All right, let's get started with our weekly call here. We got the driver of the number 21 Motorcraft Quick Lane Ford, Harrison Burton, joining us this afternoon. As we head back to Richmond for the second time, I'm sure it's nice for all you drivers to get back to a track for the second time with this new next-gen car, Harrison. So we appreciate you joining us. We've got a line of calls. If you've got a question for Harrison, raise your hand. And right now, we'll just kick it off with Chris Osborne. Go ahead, Chris, get us started.
All right. Hey, thanks, Harrison. Thanks for joining us. You guys can still make the playoffs, and there's definitely a chance wild card race in the mix as well. If you can't make the playoffs, what's a realistically really good goal for you guys to finish the season?
Honestly, this first part of the year obviously hasn't gone how we wanted it to. There's no denying that. There's no rose-tinted glasses for that. There's been a lot of missed opportunities on our end. I think of cars that we had that were fast that I made mistakes or, just missing opportunities throughout the weekend to get decent finishes, right? And so for us, I think the biggest goal is just to maximize our weekends and, show up to the racetrack and unload with a lot of speed. There's been a few weekends this year where we've unloaded, been super fast off the truck. And those are all like, when you look back over the year, those are all the favorite ones that we have to look back at. I think about Gateway, unloading off the truck, being fastest in practice for a little bit there and finishing well in practice, qualifying in the top 10 at kind of an intermediate short track hybrid. Places like that, runs like that we need to have more and more often. And even at the Indy Road Course, getting our first top 5, it was kind of a weekend full of missed opportunities throughout the first half. And then all of a sudden the second half of the race comes and we take advantage of a lot of different things. So just need to get better and better every week and show progress at the end of the day, show lap time. That's the biggest goal for us. We're working day and night. There's no pointing fingers on our team, which is amazing. All of our team members at Wood Brothers Racing are all kind of pointing the fingers at themselves at what we can all do better. And I'm in that same boat and working as hard as ever to try and do this because it's an honor to drive the 21 car and get it out front is a priority for us. So at the end of the day, we've got to put the work in to do that.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris. Let's go to Sterling Price. Hello, Sterling. Welcome to the call.
Thank you. Harrison, real quick, we're about 2/3 of the way through the Cup Series season. What would you say is the thing that you've learned the most, that has been the most important in your rookie season so far?
Yeah, I think just learning these cars in general has been a real big challenge. They're a lot different to drive than the old generation car, and they're different to set up, and the priorities are different, philosophies are different. For me as a driver, I've learned a lot. I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and I think that's the key to being a great race car driver. So, at the end of the day, just trying to find a way to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and getting better and better at that. And these cars are going to drive poorly. They're going to be on the kind of the edge of control, and being on that edge and driving hard through that edge is been a good lesson. I think I learned the first, third of the year, and trying to apply that to these racetracks to go to a second time is going to be super important to show some signs and get up front.
Thanks, Harrison.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, John. Let's go to Ashley McCubbin. Hello, Ashley.
Hello. Nice to see you, everybody. Harrison, you've got a short track, a road course, and a restrictor plate track as you try to make the playoffs. How do you feel about your chances?
At the end of the day, it's it's always tough to win at any level. It's really tough to win in the Cup Series. I feel like we've been making good strides in the past few weeks to have good speed and show up to the racetrack fast. And I think Daytona is a good opportunity for almost everyone in the field to try and bust off a win there. Led laps there earlier in the year, the Daytona 500. So there's some things that could say, that could be a track for us. I feel like Richmond was one of our better races earlier through the year. When we compare to our alliance partners with Team Penske, the goal is to run as good as those guys do. And so, that was a race where I felt like we did that, had a decent run there and had some speed and showed a lot of speed in the race, just kind of didn't execute properly on a few things, and that bit us in the butt. But hey, at the end of the day, those are two good ones, and then obviously anything can happen at a road course, and coming off the top 5 there. So there's a case you can make for any of them, I guess, right? But at the end of the day, we've just got to go and show the speed in practice and in qualifying and the early parts of the race to get that. So really, it's one day at a time and one practice at a time to try and get to that level, and we'll get there eventually. I'm pretty sure of it.
And you mentioned the fact that you've been getting stronger and making progress, but how would you grade your season to date?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely been a letdown for me personally. I've wanted to come out and do a really good job, and I feel like I made a lot of mistakes early. Some things I feel like I did well early, but I don't know. I don't know what the grade would be. I think I haven't really thought a lot about that. I think the biggest thing is just trying to build off of every weekend, right? And last weekend in Michigan was so tough because just missed it in practice and in qualifying, and then get to the race and get crashed early and don't have a chance to really build off of anything. So just trying to get better and better each weekend. And if I could give it a grade, I wouldn't give it a good one. I think we've got to run better, and there's no secret about that. And there's no one in our team that believes that what we're doing is enough. So we'll get it done. It's just a matter of how, and I know we were working hard enough to do it. That's for sure.
Thanks for your time today.
Yep.
All right, Ashley, let's go to Trey Downey. Hello, Trey.
Hey, Harrison, want to look a little bit deeper into the next couple weeks after Richmond. Going into Watkins Glen, what does that run at the Indy road course and that top 5 finish do for your confidence going into Watkins Glen and just as a road racer in general?
Yeah, it's cool. I really have worked hard in the off season to be a better road racer. I feel like that's been something that I've struggled with in Xfinity. Trying to run with guys like Austin Cindric in Xfinity Series. Those guys are, that guy's quick on a road course. So learning from him, I feel like it's been good. I've run a lot of races thanks to our friends at Ford. I ran a GT4 race earlier this year. All the Cup road course races, and doing a lot of time at home on a simulator and in the Ford simulator. And I feel like that's paid a dividend, to getting faster on those and qualifying pretty decent at Indy road course. I think I qualified like 12th or 13th or something. So decent qualifying there, decent speed. And then if you have that, you can execute a race a lot easier, and things come to you a lot easier. That's for sure. So confidence is higher on those than it has been in the past, but I still know there's work to be done there. I think that's what's good is where and how. It's just about doing it. So there's no stone unturned.
And then at Daytona, you mentioned you led laps, but your day ended early there and a pretty spectacular crash. When you go back to a track like that, does any of that crash, is that in the back of your mind at all, or is that something that you just kind of compartmentalize when you get back in the car, especially at the same track?
Yeah. Obviously when you flip or anything like that, it looks really dramatic and scary. And I think the people outside of my race car were more worried than I was. I've got this video that NASCAR sends us where we can look at our safety equipment and see what we could have done better to be safer inside these race cars. And you watch that and, we learned some things there. But obviously the coolest part was I felt like I was upside down, still trying to drive. And then once I landed, the first thing I did was try and start it up and drive off again. So, I didn't really have any fear in that moment. I felt fine. And that definitely hasn't carried over either. I feel, honestly, that's one of my favorite races I've run all year. Showed up early and in the Daytona 500, my first one, felt like I made the right moves, felt like I was aggressive enough. And at the end of the day, it didn't work out. And, I was trying to see what I could do different. And there was maybe a few things I could have done different, but at the end of the day, I was proud of that performance and proud of being aggressive.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Matthias, I can see you want to get going. Go ahead, Matthias. What you got?
Hello, Harrison. I am Matthias Viena. My questions are 2. What are your expectations from next 3 races?
Yeah, my expectations are I feel like we have to demand a high amount of I guess, expectation for ourselves to have that happen. You know, we have to show up and qualify well, practice well. So, you know, I really want to be in that top 10 in qualifying at Richmond. I feel like we can do that. I feel like I'm a driver that can do that. I've led a lot of laps in Xfinity at Richmond and had a win slip away there. Really love that racetrack and feel like that place suits me well. So want to be a top 10 guy there in qualifying and build off of that for the race. Then we go to Watkins Glen and you know, just want to show similar speed and, you know, get a good result like we did at Indy Road Course. Try to build off of that result, see what we learned. I feel like we have some good directions from our post-race meetings there that we learned from, you know, what we could do to make our car better. And then Daytona is my expectation is that our team shows up with the same level of aggression as we did in the 500 and, you know, try and go and lead laps in that thing and be aggressive and try and take advantage of that opportunity.
Are you going to continue in Woodruff from 2023 season?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, all up in the air at the moment. I feel like we're at a good point right now and there's a lot of faith in me with, you know, within the group and in the Woods family. Felt nothing but support from them. And, you know, I get a lot of really cool texts from those guys and they seem to believe in me quite a bit. So excited about that and hopefully something comes together, you know, where I can announce it soon. I don't have anything to announce yet. But I really, if I could run the rest of my career in the Wood Brothers 21 car, I would be pretty happy. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's an amazing team to drive for, and I hope we can continue for sure.
Thanks, Harrison.
Yep, thank you.
All right, I want to get to Dustin Long since he's doing some errands here. Dustin, go ahead.
Hey, thanks. Harrison, I'm just curious. Can you give me a sense, and I don't know if a lot of people maybe truly understand maybe like the day in the life of a driver and kind of what your schedule is. I know Ty Gibbs was talking this past weekend about trying to get, you know, 8-10 hours of sleep or more sleep and that being an important thing for an athlete. How do you structure your day and because I'm not sure if people maybe quite understand what a driver does during the week.
Yeah.
Certainly they can see what you guys do during the weekend.
Yeah, it's you know, it's pretty busy life for sure. There's a lot of travel and all that. But normally, you know, with Xfinity, it was nice because I normally had Sunday off. Well, now pretty much every day of the week is pretty booked. You know, for example, today I was in the simulator starting at 7, was there till 11 o'clock today. Left there, started watching some Richmond SMT, so got to watch some data before I got on this call. I'm on this call, and then I'm going to leave here and go to the gym and work out, you know, and then go home after that, take a shower and go talk to my dad about some other racing stuff. So, you know, that's just today, for example. Tomorrow we've got, you know, a lot of meetings with our group that are really structured. We always have a pre-race film meeting. We always do a post-race lunch debrief, a post-race, you know, meeting debrief, and then after Monday, we're full steam ahead on the next week. So today, you know, Tuesdays are normally not super busy for me as far as scheduled meetings go, but I tend to fill it up with the simulator time every week, 7 to 11, you know, and then from then to the gym and kind of bouncing all over. So it's a busy life for sure, and you've got to love it to do it. That's a guarantee.
When you talk about that sim time, is that as much helping the Ford teams, because I know there's a lot of simulator work done the day or two after a race to kind of verify things? Is that what you're doing, or are you working on things for yourself or for the Ford organization for the upcoming races?
Yeah, a little bit of both. You know, one of the hardest things about the simulator this year has been having gone to the racetrack before the race in that race car. So our simulator is kind of a guess, you know, that we kind of have to make. And so, yeah, a lot of my Tuesdays are post-race kind of tire and track adjustments for grip and trying to make that as accurate of a program as we can, which it is, you know, it's getting better and better as we go. And the effort that we're putting in there has been really cool to see. It's a really hard project because all of the ways that this car makes grip is so different than the old car, and the tires are different. And so really we're starting from scratch on a program that, you know, has been running pretty well for a long time. And so, yeah, I'd say it's probably 50% last week and 50% this week when I'm in there, and trying to move the ball forward and help the Ford program out as much as I can.
And one other thing, the idea of athletes and film studies become a little bit more in the news recently with the big contract to Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals. I see you smiling, so I'm guessing you're kind of aware of what that situation was. Can you give me a sense of the extra work that you do or have to do, or things that you're doing? And when you're looking at film, what, some of the things that you're trying to look at, because, I can go watch a race and you can go watch it, and we're looking at two different things. So can you kind of take me through that process for you, please?
Yeah, we've got a really cool process where the crew chief, the spotter, engineers all sit in, and we have a film room that we can go and watch race film in. And so, we kind of start that meeting and go over some baseline things and whatnot, and set up ideas and all that, and normal kind of race team meeting stuff. And then honestly, in that meeting, we just put on the race and talk about it as it goes on. We'll watch the whole race and skip through to restart some things and just talk about it. And that's kind of the in the facility, film, where it's just the whole team, and it's kind of not super structured. And then when I get home, I like to watch a lot of the SMT data, where it's all modeled cars in there, and you can see steering, throttle, brake traces, see what guys are doing well, what guys aren't doing well. You can kind of zoom in on guys or zoom out and watch the whole race. And what I tend to watch for in that is kind of try and understand what guys are fighting and understand what they do better than others. You go to Martinsville and see, hey, why is this guy, faster than other guys? And his car is a couple feet higher at this point of the corner, is leaving low. So, whatever it might be, I look for small details kind of by myself. And I don't really have a super structured way to do that. I kind of just go through, pick through the data, watch different guys that I know are really great at certain racetracks, and try and pick off of them. It's going to be really nice when I can go back and watch myself. This weekend at Richmond, I'm just going to watch the 21 car go around the racetrack and see everything I could have done better at every single moment. Every single decision you make as far as restart selections, all that you can watch back and understand what you did and didn't do. And, those are the main things that I kind of look for, is just kind of what works for guys, what doesn't. And then, I get to watch myself go around the racetrack for a whole race and see what I could have done better.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Zoom user. Let's go to David. Hoffman's had his camera on for a while. He's ready to go. Go ahead, David. Appreciate your patience. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time, Harrison. You mentioned earlier in the season just how you learned a lot about your work ethic through the first couple of races. Just what's been the biggest challenge for you in that area, and how have you seen that growth?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is, trying to find a way to be proactive to issues instead of reactive to issues. And it's always hard to look in the mirror. As a race car driver, you want to be the fastest guy to ever step in a race car and want to have the most natural talent that anyone's ever had, and all that, right? That's what you want to be. And so when you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right, sometimes that's a little hard, right? Because all the race car drivers kind of have an ego. I think that's kind of, everyone knows that. They talks to us for long enough. So, it's hard because you want to be confident going to the racetrack. You don't want to pick yourself apart, but also you need to know what you could have done better. So that's a balance. I tend to be really hard on myself and want to be the best I can be. So every mistake I make, I kind of wear it on my sleeve, and my girlfriend Jenna has to deal with, if I qualify bad, I'm probably going to be mad for all of Saturday. Or if I qualify good, I'll be in a good mood. And so for me, try not to take it so harsh if it's bad, or take it so good if it's good, is a challenge. So try and stay in the middle of that roller coaster, right? Not go up or down too much is really important for me personally.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Let's go to Lee Spencer. Hello, Lee.
Hello, Dan. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Harrison. To kind of follow up on your analysis of the SMT, there was discussion in the booth this weekend about Bubba Wallace has to learn how to race up front. And I'm curious, with this being your rookie season, and you got a little taste of that at Indy. Um, is there, you were talking about learning, watching, just studying the SMT, but is it really just time and having a car and given the opportunities that allows you to learn the difference as to what it takes to run up front compared to being mid-pack or even in the back?
Yeah, it's all of it, right? I mean, Kevin Harvick has been in the series forever, and he just won last weekend. And obviously he's got a lot of talent. Obviously, he's been around for a while and has all the experience. And it's cool to see him win. But all those things come into play with a guy like that, right? Where this guy has won races at every level he's been at. He's been up front in cup races for 20 years, and he knows what's going to happen. He's been there, done that, and so that there's part of that, and there's part of it that really the racing in 15th is a lot different than the racing in racing for the lead. That clean air component of kind of fighting for that clean air and being able to do things that maybe you wouldn't be able to do in 15th that you can in first. There's a lot of things that are different about that. And I've gotten to stay, to be out front a few races and race for the lead. And it's definitely a different level of intensity because it's so important to get that track position and maintain that track position as long as you can, say you're staying out on old tires or whatever it might be. That definitely picks up the intensity. So, I don't know if there's like a one thing, hey, as a driver, you have to do this different when you're out front. It's kind of just a tempo change. It's a feeling change. And it's pretty apparent, I think, when you're in the car and doing it. I think that's why you hear guys like Dale Jr. or my dad in the booth kind of say that, because they've been there and raced for wins and know what it's like and know the kind of place you have to be in your head to do it. It's a lot different. It's, you really think, you think differently when it's for the lead. So, I don't know personally if, about Bubba in particular, right? I can just speak to myself and say that it's going to come with time and it's going to come with effort, right? You don't get up front without putting the effort in. You have to put the effort in to get from 15th to first. But once you get there, say you have 6 chances to win a race, I say you're probably going to win 1 or 2 in this field. If you're up front late with a chance to win, the odds are you're not going to win your first time having that opportunity. So being up there and having chances is kind of the key, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I was thinking about, the situation you got in this past weekend. JJ Yaley is not used to being up front. People aren't used to racing JJ Yaley up front. And then next thing you know, you're right in the middle of calamity. So there's got to be an art to learning how to race there if you're going to, be in that position. And JJ's been there a long time. So I was just kind of, you don't want to be JJ. I mean, it's basically what it comes down to in a situation like that.
Yeah, for sure. You know it. And I think the situations there are certainly, a little different too with Bubba having, a really fast race car too. They were really good this weekend and he was doing a good job all weekend. So, that puts it a lot more, you can kind of wear that on your heart harder, I would think, because whenever you have a great car and don't win, that hurts more than, say you have a not so great car and a mistake happens, I would say personally.
Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Harrison, we've got 2 more. So we'll knock out these 2 and then we'll let you go to your workout. Bob Pockers. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Harrison, you were talking earlier about how, your girlfriend, say that, you're not a happy person. But now we don't talk to you a ton after qualifying or after races, but I've never gotten the impression. I don't know if I've ever seen you throw your helmet or see you, most of the time I see you at the track and you're smiling and everything. So I'm curious, are you miserable or hiding it from us, or is that just your general demeanor? And if so, is there any concern that your team might not know how upset or how much you care?
They definitely know how much I care. I definitely have meetings with them and show them that, it matters to all of us the same. And, I've never felt like that was a question. I feel like just, the biggest thing is, yeah, I'm not miserable, right? I don't leave the racetrack hating life. I just care so much. I want to do well in this car. It's a great chance for me. It's everything I've ever worked for my whole life. And so when a mistake happens, and I have someone like, my girlfriend who I've dated for 5 years and, been together with since we were freshmen in high school, someone like that where I can talk to, I tend to open up more, I guess. Right. So, personally, I don't really throw stuff. I don't show it a lot. But the people that know me know how much it matters. And I think that's kind of just how I am. I've never been super outspoken about much. I've never been the guy to jump up and down and scream and yell and all that in the public eye, I guess. And then sometimes when you get home and you have a chance to talk with someone you care about it, sometimes you kind of let your emotions go. And that's kind of how I operate at times. And then, as far as the team goes, I feel like they know how much it matters to me because I think it's just, you get to know these guys like your family and they become in the same light, right? You can have lunch with my crew chief, Brian, and engineer, Matt Moat. We have lunch every week. And, we all talk about how much this matters to us and what we need to do to be better. And then we show that commitment to being better. So there's a difference in talking about it and doing it for sure. And it's not one or the other, it's both. And I don't feel that way about my team. I don't think they feel that way about me. And
Thank you.
Yep, no worries.
All right, let's close it out today with Kelly Crandall. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks, Dan. Harrison, kind of just following up on those same lines, things you've been talking about already. When you talk about being critical of yourself and having to look in the mirror and everything in a rookie season, what does that look like? Are you taking notes? Are you having actual conversations with yourself? Are you literally looking in a mirror? Like when you're going through these moments of being self-critical, what does that look like for you?
I've done it all. I've done it all. I've sat in film meetings and said what I did in that scenario was dumb. I've, thought about how I give feedback to my team if I'm not aggressive enough or too aggressive with my comments and we end up over or under adjusting. I've thought about, what does it take to be a great competitor and have that competitive spirit. I've talked to a lot of really interesting people about that. And I've done almost every exercise in the book for sure. And it's a cool experience because you know a lot about yourself by the end of it. I was flying home somewhere and we fly with the Penske group and sitting next to, Joey and talking about, just racing in general and how hard it could be. And he's a guy that has, turned into a cup champion from a guy that, had kind of had a bad rookie season. And I guess I don't really know the stats or anything, but you talk to him and that's how he talks about it is, he's gotten better through hard times and turned into one of the best to ever do it. And, he was talking to me about, hey, it's pretty awesome when you think about, what are other 21-year-olds doing and how tough are you going to be from this? And it was pretty early in the year that we had that conversation. It's definitely true. It's a hard sport, emotionally, physically, mentally, takes everything you got. And that doesn't guarantee success. Like, I think in some other sports you can shoot free throws all day and then you go to the game and you're probably going to be a better free throw shooter. And a lot of the things you do in this sport don't guarantee success and you can be wiped out at any moment. And think about this weekend for us and just in a crash early and don't have a chance and really hard to say what you could have done different other than been in front of it. So, it's a hard sport and I've thought a lot about what it takes to be a great competitor and trying to implement some things I do in my day-to-day life. And I think it's been working and showing signs of progress. And it's been cool.
Given that you said the word progress there, and you've spoken about the progress of the team, but you as a driver, do you feel like you've made progress from Daytona to August now here going into Richmond?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel a lot more confident now. Every time I get in the car, I feel like I can push it. I feel like I know the limit of the tire. There was a time and when I first started this, next gen car experience where I really didn't feel that way. I got in the race car and was kind of uncomfortable with really a lot about it. I never really knew where the limit was. And, through experience, I've been able to kind of find those limits and make mistakes, but learn from them. And I feel like, every time I get in the race car, I'm more and more confident. So, yeah, as a driver, I feel I'm a lot better in this car in particular. I feel like I'm a smarter driver now, having raced against Cup competition for, 2/3 of a year now, I guess. And, that's only going to bring the most out of you is when you're around people like this. You see, guys like Ty Gibbs that are lighting up the Xfinity series, and obviously he just got a top 10, but this, it's hard for everybody. You race these guys that, in the outside looking in, maybe they don't get the credit they deserve at how good everyone in this series is and how much, they deserve the respect. And it's a hard series, and that's how it should be. That's what makes it awesome. That's what makes it fun to watch. That's what makes it fun to do. So, yeah, I'm, definitely feel like I'm a better driver just from being around my, alliance partners and talking to them about driving and racing. And, yeah, I feel like I'm a much better driver now than I was last year, the year before that. And, that's just part of growing and learning every year. And really, I think even when you look at a guy like Harvick, I think he's getting better every week. And you hear Ronnie Childress talking about, that they haven't changed much, but Harvick's gotten better with this car and he's doing some things different. It's kind of a testament to how challenging this is, that a guy like that doesn't just wake up and roll out of bed and do it. He's got to put a lot of effort behind it and does that week in and week out.
Harrison, I'm going to ask, when you're on the elliptical or treadmill today, that you blame me for being late. I'm keeping you later here, but we do have one more call. You have time for one more. Zach Sternioli called in late, but he's just dialed in. Zach,
yeah, I'm not mad about having to prolong my time until I've got to run here, so I'm all right.
All right, I'll give you one question, Zach. Go ahead. You'll close this out.
Thank you both. Harrison, I know you're part of the Race for the Championship production here as well. What's that process been like from your perspective? And were the cameras there for your run last week or a week and a half ago at Indianapolis?
No, they weren't there for those weeks. They were there at different times. They've been at my girlfriend's parents' house. They've been, at races, and they've seen me mad, happy, sad, all the above. It's been kind of a strange experience for me, kind of a reserved guy, I guess, and having a camera around is a weird thing for me. Never really, I never felt scared or shy around cameras, but I also never kind of thought I would be in a reality show, right? So, yeah, it's been an interesting experience. Got to know the camera crew pretty well for that group, and they're great people, so that made it easy. And yeah, it was a cool experience. I think the fans are going to love it. I feel like it's something that we've needed to show. I can sit in this interview and talk so much about how hard it is, what we do, what it's like emotionally, physically, what the drivers, are going through, but you don't see it. So it's easy to kind of, yeah, he's just talking about it. Right. So excited for the fans to see what the drivers do, what we go through. And, I think it'll make some fans of the sport that maybe haven't been in the past. I think if they tune into that and see what it's like, they'll probably get behind it. So it's going to be cool to see how it turns out. I haven't seen any clips other than the trailers that got released, and I kind of know what they film me doing, and that's about it. So it's a cool deal.
Thank you.